I am auditioning Annie to be our football friend, to be the show's.
Really?
Yes, I
a
want
football
yeah,
friend.
I want to see. Well, I want to. Well, I don't know whether she wants to be.
The pressure's on now. Jeez.
Yes. Because Annie Agar is someone, Stugotz, and I love how much of a democracy and a meritocracy the content business has become, where Rob Delaney becomes a famous comedian because he's good at making content on Twitter, and Annie's great at making her way into the football space in a totally new way that I haven't seen a whole lot of. I don't think I have this wrong, and she seemed from afar like someone I'd like as a football friend. And I don't know whether she wants to be my football friend. I don't know whether she wants to be our football friend or not.
Because you can have a football friend who is not your friend in everyday life, just a football friend.
Well, she'd be a great football friend. Look,
a bad friend.
Let's be clear on this. I'm not auditioning to be her friend. Right. No, it's not. That'll come later. That maybe. I'm auditioning her to be just the show's football friend. Is that something that you're willing to partake in, Annie?
The fact that you took you being my friend off the table, absolutely. Now I feel a bit safer about it.
So I should tell the audience she's an NFL correspondent at Stadium Network. She's the host of the new Wondery podcast, The Offensive Line, and that podcast took off. I think it's more popular than Bill Barnwell's show. I think it's more popular than Belichick. I think it's the most popular thing that there has been in the history of new sports football podcasts brought to us by our new football friend.
I love it.
Can you tell us how this all came to be? Can you tell us, because we want to talk about football in general, but your path seems to have been a really unique one.
Well, thank you. Yeah, this started back during COVID. I was in my childhood bedroom. I moved back with my parents. That was not a good move. I do not recommend it. Great people, but you don't want to live with them again. And so I'd moved back into my childhood bedroom and thought, I worked in local news at the time, wasn't doing anything. Football had stopped, sports had stopped, and I had just gone on TikTok, and I had the idea to do this Big Ten meeting as if they were on a Zoom call trying to get their season going again. And it was kind of this comedic relief during a really depressing time, and it took off. It had 3 million views overnight, and I thought, okay, this is something people want right now. And it led to doing these weekly NFL meeting videos that I do to recap kind of the games and what happened, all while roasting players pretty relentlessly. So, and that led to the podcast. So this podcast hopefully will kind of elaborate on what I talk about in the videos, and it's more of a conversation with my followers and my fans and stuff like that. So it's called The Offensive Line because I'm known to say an offensive thing or two. So it's been a good time so far.
Can you tell us what you are most excited about as we get our first Sunday on Thursday? As today is the day.
On Thursday, Sundays are back.
That's right. Yes. Today, Sundays are back because today is Thursday, and that is why Sundays are back on Thursdays. What are you most excited about?
We are so back. You know what? I felt like I had to be productive every Sunday in the offseason, and this might be a thing for football fans because when Sundays come back and football is back, we do nothing. And I am so ready to absolutely do nothing but watch 7 hours of commercial-free football every Sunday. I go to church earlier. I might be even more productive on NFL Sundays because I'm trying to get everything done in the morning so I can just sit on my couch and do absolutely nothing, and I cannot wait for it.
But that's a broad excitement.
Oh, true.
That is.
You want a specific game?
She's a football friend.
No, I mean, she's got the joke. She's got the joke. Jess has the joke. Jess, make the joke.
What are you? I don't know what you're talking about.
God damn.
Bane, please make the joke.
It is a broad.
It's not a broad.
Are we friends yet, Annie, or still have some work to do here?
Oh, I love it. I just have to throw out a that's what she said, and then we'll be great.
You didn't give me a specific answer to what you're interested in. It's just general enthusiasm.
Well, the issue is my excitement starts Friday night, not quite Sunday, because as you guys might know, I am a diehard Packers fan, and I will not have an enjoyable Sunday if Green Bay does not win this game in Brazil on Friday night. So I will just start there. That is where the excitement will come from. I'm going to get drunk Friday night, either because it's a good game or because we just lost to Philadelphia to start out the season. It will be a very bad night for me.
How do you feel about your first game for your team, first game of the year being on a Friday night? Because for me, I like my games Sunday, 1 o'clock. The Jets play Monday night. I don't want to wait around. I want to be part of the Sunday action. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's weird too because it's when there's a football game happening. I don't know if you guys remember we had that weird like Wednesday game during COVID.
Yeah.
If it's not, it's like a action game. Like it doesn't feel right if it's on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday. I can't prepare properly. I'm not ready. I'm not at the hype level of like a Sunday. You know, we've watched college football day Saturday. I have time to prepare for the Sunday games. I'm a little stressed, if you can't tell. I'm probably going to lose sleep over this. But I think it'll be good. It'll be a good way to kick it off. Brazil's going to be electric, I think. So, yeah, as long as the Packers can do well, man. There's a lot riding on this. There's a lot.
Before getting to the professional football stuff, on college football, what is it that you like? If I said to you, Annie, I got at the end of Saturday night, at midnight Saturday, I'm going to give you a microphone. What were the best and most interesting things you saw today? Like what were the things that you would want to talk about immediately? What are those things?
Definitely would not be Florida State because I don't even know that was football at that point. I know you guys were talking about LSU and Brian Kelly. Fun fact, Brian Kelly coached at my college. I went to Grand Valley. And I would consider him, I've interviewed him a couple times. So I would say that I knew him pretty well. Didn't know where the accent came from because, man, let me tell you, in West Michigan, that was not the accent that we had over here. So he's just he's a chameleon. He adapts to his environment. As far as, there's certain teams that I love. I'm an Ohio State fan too, which is very weird being in Michigan. So the Big Ten is, and then you guys saw, maybe I put out a video this past week about the Big Ten. The Big Ten is like a religion over here. That's all we watch. So now that we got Oregon in there, Washington, these new teams from the Pac-12, it's going to be interesting. And I think I would mostly focus on what happened in the Big Ten just because that's my wheelhouse. But the games were, every Big Ten team won this week except for, I think it was Minnesota, which is pretty sad for them. But I stick to the Big Ten, and that's kind of that's what we watch around here.
As a Packer fan, your watching of Jordan Love the last 8 games, I don't know whether you can do this without bias, but in talking to Mina Kimes and an assortment of other people, all of them are certain that Jordan Love is going to be extraordinary, that it's not that the contract he just got will soon look underpaid because they believe, the people who are watching Jordan Love believe absolutely, they've got the next great thing at quarterback. What's the argument against that?
Oh, don't make me do this. This is, I can only talk him up. I physically can only talk him up. The issue that I
asked you to be not biased, and we're not going to be able to be
biased aside.
We're not.
Okay, all bias aside. All bias aside. I don't even know what negative to say. I just think Jordan Love's ceiling is so high. If he regresses, it could be because maybe teams figure him out a little bit. But then I also think, we don't have a wide receiver one because he doesn't throw to your best receiver. He throws to whatever receiver is available. I think we're going to utilize him a little bit more in the run game. And that might concern me a little bit because there's only like 3 plays last year of him getting outside the pocket, of him using his legs. And I think he can. And we have a great backfield now with Josh Jacobs too. So maybe he doesn't have to use his legs. All this to say, I really try to find no bias in this. I'm trying to find negative things about Jordan Love, and dare I say there might not be any.
Guys, for the love
of God.
the
first 8 games last year.
Annie, we cannot be.
She tried,
Annie,
Dan.
No, we can't be.
Daniel Jones got
Doesn't
paid
sound like
on
bias
less
to me.
talent. Daniel Jones got paid on less.
We
And
can't
Jordan
be.
Love, just because he had half a season, I don't know.
Billy, we can't be football
She
friends
tried
with
to
this
find the
person.
negative. She just
Yeah,
can't.
she tried.
She
I mean,
can't
come
ask
on.
more than trying.
She gets how to play the game.
I
It's not her
mean,
fault.
she can't be
I
a
tried.
She
football
put her
friend.
biases aside.
All
I mean, she
bias
did.
aside, he's perfect and is the best.
What if we ask you to add the biases? Don't put them aside. Incorporate the biases. Now give us your Jordan Love take.
No, I got it
Jordan
already.
Love will be MVP this year. The Packers are winning a Super Bowl.
Wow.
All right.
At plus 1,400, Jordan Love, I've already made the future bet. He's going to win MVP. All bias aside. All bias aside.
All right. So all bias aside, how does Packer fan Annie Agar really want Aaron Rodgers to do this season?
This is a tough one. I want him to do well. I think he might win Comeback Player of the Year. I want him to do well only because the Jets team is so he's never played, and this is coming from a Packers fan, he's never played on a team with this good of defense. And they just talked about it the other day. He's 81-10 when the defense holds the opponents to 20 points or less. I think the Jets averaged 20 points. Their opponents averaged 20 points per game last season. This Jets team just deserves more. I mean, they're a great. Breece Hall had a great season last year as well. And if Aaron was healthy, I just want to see what would have happened. So it lasts longer than 4 plays this season. Win comeback player of the year, make the playoffs. I don't think you'll win. You're not going to win a Super Bowl because there's a guy that exists that's named Pat Mahomes out there. But yeah, I want them to do well. I have no ill will against Aaron Rodgers, probably because I want him on my podcast at some point. The second he's off the podcast, I'll say anything you guys want about him.
Okay, so no bias
But for
aside.
Now you're my friend.
No,
now you're my friend.
Bias
He will
aside.
be my football friend.
That's ridiculous to say. I'm not going to be biased. I'm just going to say the things that get him on my podcast.
That's how you do it.
Hey, I'm working this system.
I think, Stugotz, and I don't know if I'm alone on this, because I really do think that the Jets, if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, are going to challenge Buffalo and Miami for the top of that division in a way that makes a conversation around that Jets team be different than any conversation we've heard, at least in part because the centerpiece of everything is really controversial. And I think if he's healthy, he's going to make them great.
Dan, I'm going to say something. Annie, I'm glad you're here when I said it, because in 20 years I have never said what I'm about to say. The Jets are making it to the Super Bowl.
You said it last
Wow.
year.
I
He
did
said
not
it.
say
You
it
did say
last
it last year, and then he was injured after 4 plays.
The Jets are winning the Super Bowl.
You did say it last
I
year.
did not say that last year.
You just upgraded it now because you realized you did say they were making the Super Bowl last year.
I mean,
you did say it.
You're always fact-checking me.
Yes, and it's impossible.
annoying.
It's like Trump. I can't keep up with you. Like there's so many
Listen,
lack of facts that I can't keep up.
Last year was last year. This year is this year. And this year, I am telling you, the Jets not only making it to the Super Bowl, they're winning the whole thing. How about
Wow.
that? Yes.
He's fact-checking you, and you're fact-checking him.
Hey.
That's what will work 20 years.
He's about to kick your ass.
Out? I'll go.
Annie, thank you for being on with us. I don't know if we're friends. I don't know if you want to be friends with this dysfunctional of family, but I would tell the people again, she's an NFL correspondent at Stadium Network. She's the host of the new Wondery podcast, The Offensive Line, and her path is super interesting because there are not a lot of people. There's so many, Stugotz, people trying to make their way into the football space.
Yep.
The idea that you would earn it sort of on your own is unusual because the internet has decided, yeah, we like this person. I still haven't decided that whether she can be our football friend or not. Thank you, Annie. Thank you for being on with us.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I'll remember that Jets prediction.
Okay. Thank you.